Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for your introduction, Dr. Takamura and Mr. Tamura, and thank you very much for the organizers, including IGES. We have already heard from other speakers very important insights. And to represent the private sector, I would like to give you this presentation about what is taking place on the ground in the area of renewable energies. So RENOVA is a company that is independent company developing and operating renewable energy systems. We have been around for 20 years, and we have been doing renewable energies for only 8 years. So we are a young company. 1.8 gigawatt is our portfolio covering the geothermal and wood biomass and photovoltaic, as well as wind, both offshore and onshore. So we have been active only in Japan so far, but around 4 years ago, we started to develop renewable energy projects overseas outside of Japan. So I started off with another person, and right now we have people, around 20 people around the world covering 9 countries, especially focusing on developing projects in Asian countries. So against this backdrop, this May this year, Quanti Vietnam onshore wind project, we started to take part in that, 144 megawatt. As Ms. Schindler said, Japan and Europe, decarbonization and renewable energy penetration, that's very important, but the energy demand is going to go up in emerging countries, and it's very important to have renewable energies in such emerging countries. And business-wise, these are very important markets with huge potential and opportunity for growth. So that is why we are focusing particularly on Vietnam among other Asian countries. So this is looking at the inauguration ceremony back in May. Against the backdrop of this COVID-19 pandemic, I was not able to take part in that directly, but if you take a look at this photo, it is under construction and it's on the track. Next, please. So this Quanti Vietnam, before we selected this project, we considered 80 or so projects. Through trial and error, we were able to learn a lot of lessons. So what were the difficulties? If you ask me to talk about those difficulties, I could mention 300 to 400 difficulties, spending 3 hours or 4 hours, but I'd like to focus just on these 3 aspects. One is finance. So for big renewable energy projects, we need to have project finance in order to raise fund. But Vietnam is an emerging country, so it's quite difficult to come up with financing with favorable conditions. And JBIC, NEXI, and JICA, these are very important government-affiliated financial instruments, and we had cooperation from there, KfW, and also Elements Cover of Germany. These the very important partners for discussion as well. But then what is the bottleneck is really the speed, because when it comes to emerging countries, the speed of project is so rapid. Therefore, we need to be able to form finance with favorable conditions in a timely manner. If we can do that, this can serve as a very important, strong weapon. So government-affiliated financial institutes, if they can set up a framework, particularly for renewable energies, and if there is much flexibility of operation, or if there can be a special framework of loans for portfolios, if such can be set up for us, for operator like us, this can be a very big advantage. Another one is risk scrutiny. And a huge risk there is to have output suppression. When it comes to Vietnam, it is not as a risk itself, but then the information about potential risk was very limited. That was a bottleneck for Vietnam. So grid enhancement is very important, but the information available about grid or disclosure systems of grid, that's very important. Government level supports from Germany or Japan or other governments, if there is support, that would be very helpful. Another one is PPA. Such a PPA can have a lot of risk for a business operator. It's not very advantageous for operators. Of course, it's difficult to change PPAs with state-owned power companies in Vietnam, but the foreign companies such as Japanese or Germany companies that are going into Vietnam, if a direct PPA or corporate PPA, such frameworks are available for us renewable energy operators to be able to supply energy or electricity, that if that can be supported, that would be very helpful for us to have bigger opportunity. So that was a very quick run of the presentation. So once again, renewable energies, turning those renewable energies into a main source of energy here in Japan, that is a very important goal. And as a private sector, we would like to do our part in Japan and also outside of Japan towards decarbonization. Thank you very much.